What if I told you that you could be 40 years old on paper, but your body could be aging much more like it was 55, and you would not necessarily feel it happening because aging faster than normal does not begin with wrinkles or gray hair. It usually starts much deeper inside the body. It begins at the level of your cells. It affects your metabolism, your blood vessels, and even your brain. And by the time most people realize something feels different, the process has often been developing quietly for years. Here's why this matters. Your chronological age is simply the number of years you've been alive, and your biological age reflects how well your body is actually functioning. Those two are not always the same. If your biological age is higher than your chronological age, your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, memory decline, and other chronic illnesses rises earlier than expected. The good news is that when your body is aging faster than it should, it leaves clues. If you recognize those clues early, you can often slow the process and sometimes even reverse parts of it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. Ali, a family medicine resident doctor here in the UK. On this channel, I focus on prevention, helping you catch serious diseases early and build habits that help you live longer. Please do like and subscribe. My goal is to help you not just live longer, but stay healthier and more independent as you age. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 early signs you may be aging faster than you should, why they happen inside the body, and what they mean for your long term health, and what practical steps you can start taking. No exaggeration, no anti aging gimmicks, just clear evidence based medicine. Before we start, ask yourself something honestly. Do you feel stronger, sharper, or even more energetic today than you did 5 years ago? If the answer is no, one of those signs may already be present. Let us begin with one I see most often in my clinic. Warning sign number one, losing muscle and strength. So you're not as strong as you used to be. Carrying groceries feels heavier. Getting up from the floor takes more effort now. Your workouts no longer produce the same results. Some muscle loss is expected with age. After the age of 30 especially, we gradually start losing small percentage of muscle each decade. However, when muscle declines faster than expected, that becomes a problem. You see, muscle is not only about appearance or athletic performance. Muscle plays a major role in controlling blood sugar. It improves the insulin sensitivity. It reduces inflammation. It also supports your hormones that influence how we age. You can think of muscles as a major part of your metabolic engine. When that engine becomes smaller, your metabolism becomes less efficient. Blood sugar rises more easily, fat accumulates faster, and energy levels they start declining. Ask yourself, is your grip strength weaker than others your age? Do everyday movements feel harder than they should? Have you stopped gaining strength despite consistent effort? If the answer is yes, that is not something to ignore. Early muscle loss is one of the clear signs that biological aging may be accelerating. Now, let us talk about something that can happen even if the number on the scale has not changed. And this brings me to warning sign number two, increasing waist size. Your weight may look stable. Your waist measurement has slowly increased over time. Your trousers fit tightly around the abdomen. Your belt has moved out one notch. That gradual change matters. Fat stored around the abdominal organs, known as the visceral fat, behaves very differently from the fat which is stored under the skin. Visceral fat, which is the fat around the organs, they produce inflammatory chemicals. It increases the insulin resistance. It raises the risk of heart disease and metabolic syndrome. A person can appear lean on the outside, but still carry excess visceral fat internally. Waist circumference is actually one of the shortest, simple predictors of long term metabolic health. As hormones shift with age, including testosterone, estrogen, and even growth hormone, the body becomes more prone to storing fat centrally. If lifestyle habits do not adjust accordingly, abdominal fat gradually increases, and this type of fat actively contributes to faster biological aging. If your waist continues to expand year after year, even with stable weight, it deserves attention. Now, let us move to something many people dismiss as simply just being busy. Warning sign number three: persistent low energy. You are sleeping a reasonable number of hours, yet you wake up feeling unrefreshed. You rely on caffeine to function normally. You experience a noticeable afternoon crash. Consistently low energy in your 30s and 40s should not be accepted as inevitable. Inside your cells, structures called mitochondria, they are responsible for producing the energy your body uses. When nutrition, movement, sleep, and stress are well managed, these systems function efficiently. However, high blood sugar, chronic stress, poor sleep quality, and sedentary behavior reduce mitochondrial efficiency. The result is persistent fatigue. Energy level is often one of the earliest markers of metabolic dysfunction. If your stamina has noticeably declined compared to 5 years ago, that is meaningful information. Your body is signaling that something needs attention. Now, let us talk about recovery, which brings me to warning sign number four: slower recovery. Recovery reflects resilience, it reflects how quickly your body can repair, adapt, and return to balance after stress. When you were younger, you were likely to recover much quicker from intense workouts or minor illnesses. If now you find that soreness lingers for many days or that minor infections take much longer to resolve, that shift is important. Slower recovery can reflect higher levels of chronic inflammation. It can also reflect poor sleep quality, inadequate protein intake, unmanaged stress, or reduced physical conditioning. Your immune system and repair mechanisms depend on consistent, healthy inputs. If your recovery time continues to lengthen over the years, that suggests your resilience may be declining faster than expected. Now, for the final sign, which is closely linked to long term cognitive health, this is warning sign number five: brain fog. You notice subtle changes in maternal sharpness. You struggle to focus deeply. You find word recall slightly slower. You feel mentally fatigued more easily now. Occasional forgetfulness is normal. However, progressive cognitive dulling earlier in adulthood should not be dismissed automatically. The brain is highly sensitive to blood sugar regulation and vascular health. When insulin resistance develops, it affects not only muscles and fat tissue, but also the brain. Reduced metabolic efficiency can lower cerebral blood flow, which is the blood flow going to the brain, and impairs the energy production within the brain cells. Brain fog is often a reflection of systemic metabolic health. If it becomes your new normal, it is worth investigating your sleep quality, blood sugar regulation, nutrition, and stress exposure. The bigger picture here is that losing muscle, gaining abdominal fat, declining energy, slower recovery, and reduced mental sharpness, these are not isolated problems. They are often different expressions of the same underlying issue, which is metabolic dysfunction combined with chronic low grade inflammation. Accelerated aging rarely appears as one dramatic event. It typically presents as gradual decline across multiple systems at the same time. When several of these signs appear together, the risk increases more significantly. That pattern is far more important than any single symptom alone. So you must be asking now, so what can you actually do? Well, you can strength train at least 2 to 3 times a week, prioritize adequate protein intake, Track your waist circumference, not just your body weight. Protect sleep quality. Monitor your metabolic markers with routine blood testing. Aging itself is unavoidable. Accelerated aging, in many cases, is modifiable. The earlier you intervene, the more healthy years you preserve. Living longer is valuable. Remaining strong, mentally sharp, and independent during those years is even more valuable. If this video was helpful, share it with someone who values their long term health, and I will see you next time. Bye.